Hello everyone, today in this video we are going to talk about superposition theorem in electrostatic. So after this video you should be able to explain what is superposition theorem and you should be able to apply the superposition theorem. Now first let us understand what is superposition theorem. Suppose we have two charges and if r is the distance between them, then according to Coulomb's law, force between them is given by this expression F is equal to k q1 q2 by r square. But what if we have more than two charges? So what is the force? So using superposition theorem this problem can be solved. So suppose we have four charges q0 q1 q2 q3. And suppose we want to find the force on q0 due to q1 q2 and q3. So first we'll find the force between q1 and q0, and if the distance between them is r01, then the force between them is given by this expression, and this is the vector form of Coulomb's law, and r10 is the unit vector from q1 to q0. So the direction of this force will be in this direction. Similarly, force on q0 due to q2 will be given by this expression. Now third charge, now the force will be in this direction and it will be given by this expression. So out here we can see there are three forces on this charge. So according to superposition principle, the total force on this charge is equal to vector sum of all the forces. As you can see, the forces are F01, F02, F03. If you add these three forces, you will get the total force on this charge Q0. So, and using this expression, we can write this force to be like this. So this is superposition theorem. So now the use of superposition theorem is to find the force on a charge due to multiple charges. According to superposition theorem, the total force on this charge is the vector sum of all the forces acting on this charge. So now we are considering the charges as in figure. So the force on q0 due to q1 will be given by F10, and it will be q1 q2 by r01 square, and the direction will be r10. It is going from 1 to 0. So we are considering all the charges to be positive. So similarly we can write force due to q2 and force due to q3. Now according to superposition theorem, force on q0 is vector sum of all the forces. So we are writing in term of vector. Now if you put the values, now this is the total force. Now if you have n number of charges, here we have considered only 3 charges. Now if you consider n charges, then the formula will be like this of f01, f02, f0n, and then it will be summation of so q0 qi divided by r0 whole square ri0. So I will go from 0 to n. So this whole derivation is not that important. Only from here the important points are the use, the statement of superposition theorem, and the final expression or final formula. These three things are the most important from this topic. So this is the derivation done in one page. You can pause the video and copy. So now suppose there are two charges and the distance between them is r. Suppose the force between them is 2 Newton. Then if we bring the third charge, then the force between these two charges will not be affected by this charge. So the force between them, which is 2 Newton, will remain 2 Newton. So the electrostatic force between two charges is not affected by presence of other charges in the surrounding. So now you can try this question. There are two charges q1 and q2, and there is a force of F between them. So what will happen if you bring the third charge q3 near to them? So this is the final expression for superposition theorem. Total force on a charge is vector sum of all the forces acting on that charge. This is the first question. 2 point charges 5 microcoulomb each are kept 5 cm apart. If a third charge 2 microcoulomb is placed in line joining two charges at 3 cm from one of the charges, calculate the total force on 2 microcoulomb. So out here we have 5 microcoulomb at distance 5 cm, and I am keeping 2 microcoulomb positive at distance 3 cm from one of the charge, and the distance between these two will be 2 centimeter. Now I'll give names to the point. So this is A, B and O. Now as all the charges are positive, this 5 microcoulomb will try to repel this 2 microcoulomb. So the force will be in this direction. So I can denote this by force on O due to A. So that is in this direction. Similarly, this B will also try to repel because both of them are positive. So FOB will be in this direction. So I have made FOB little larger because the distance between these two is small. So smaller the distance, more the force. So now this is the diagram which we are using. So drawing of this diagram is very important. If you draw the diagram properly, half of your job is done. So I'm using the same diagram. So now these are the things which are given. So QA and QB is given, that is 5 microcoulomb each. So micro means 10 to the power minus 6. And QO is given. So I'm giving them name. So previously the name was not given in the question, so according to my convenient I can give names to the charges. So Q0 is 2 microcoulomb. So force between AO, so this is A and O, so that will be in this direction. So first we need the distance. So distance between them is OA, that is 3 centimeter. Centi means 10 to the power minus 2. So now this is the force. So out here I am not using the vector because I am just finding the magnitude. Direction we already know from the diagram. So FOA, force on O due to A, is given by this expression, the product of two charges and divided by the square of distance between them. So if you put the value of K is 9 into 10 to the power 9 and other things. Now if you solve this, you will get 10 into 10 to the power minus 12 plus 13. So I am adding all the negative charges and this 4 will go up and will become positive. So I am getting 10 into 10 to the power 1, and that is FOA is 100 Newton. Now I have to give the direction. So direction is towards the right. So I can say it is going towards the right. So now similarly force between B and O, for that distance will be different. So R is OB, that is 2 centimeter. Now similarly I'll put the values. Now I'm solving it the same way I have solved it previous one. So this 4 will go up and I'm getting 225 Newton, and this is towards the left. Let's see how. So out here you can see this will try to repel this, so force will be in this direction, that is towards the left. So now you got two forces, one is towards the right and another is towards the left. So using superposition theorem we can write total force. The total force on charge at point 0 is given by F0 is equal to FOA plus FOB. So I have to add them using the vector method. So angle between these two vector is 180 degree. Now in order to find the magnitude of resultant vector we make use of triangle law. Let's see what is triangle law. If two vectors represent two sides of a triangle, then the resultant will be given by the third side of the triangle, and this is the angle between two vectors. The magnitude of this resultant will be given by this expression, R is equal to root over A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta, and theta is the angle between two vectors. And to find the direction of resultant we use this expression. So now let's go back to the question. So now out here we have to find the resultant final force on this charge. So I am using the triangle law. So the total force according to triangle law is given by this expression. Now cos 180 is minus 1. So I am putting the values. So one force was 100 and another force was 225. When you multiply this minus sign out here you will get this. Now this is A square plus B square minus 2AB. So I can write A minus B whole square. So if you solve this you will get 125 Newton. But out here the method I used was little complicated, so we can do it in alternative way. So please don't do this. So I'm just making you understand how did we get this. So the simpler way is, we already know for triangle law, if two vectors are opposite to each other, the resultant will be just a difference of magnitude of two vectors, and if they are along same direction, that time the resultant will be just addition of magnitude of two forces. As the forces FOA and FOB are directed opposite to each other, the resultant is given by this. So I am not writing the vector. So out here this equation is vector equation, but out here I am finding the magnitude. So please don't get confused. So out here I have to write the greater vector because we are subtracting. So out here we are writing FOB because force FOB is greater because of this small distance. So now I put the value, so I got 125 Newton. So using this method also I got 125 Newton. But in previous method you understood how did we get this, by putting the values by using triangle law. So out here this is the shortcut method, so you follow this, but you at the same time you have to understand how did we get this. So out here I forgot to write the direction of resultant force. So we can see 225 Newton, which is greater, is towards this side. So I am subtracting this from this, so that means the resultant will be in this direction, towards the direction of larger force. So I have to write in the bracket towards the left. So this is the same question done in one page. You can pause and copy. So this is the last part, I guess. So now let's try another question. 2 point charges plus 5 microcoulomb and minus 3 microcoulomb are separated by a distance of 4 millimeter, and a third charge of positive 2 microcoulomb is placed on line joining them at a distance of 1 millimeter from 5 microcoulomb. Calculate the force on 2 microcoulomb. So now I have two charges. This time one is negative, another is positive. So distance between them is 4 millimeter, and a third charge is placed at a distance of 1 millimeter from 5 microcoulomb. So from here at 1 millimeter 2 microcoulomb is placed. So remaining distance is 3 millimeter. I'm giving the name. Now this is positive, this is positive, so the force between them will be in this direction. So this A will try to repel this O, so FOA will be in this direction, and due to this B, now see this B is negative and this is positive, so there will be attraction. So force OB will be in this direction because this negative will try to attract this positive in this direction, that is towards the right. So FOB will be in this direction. Now I have to find the total of these two forces. So this is the diagram. Now we'll solve this. So out here charges are given. So QA is positive 5 microcoulomb, QB is negative 3, but I'm not writing minus out here because we are finding the magnitude of force, we are not finding the direction directly, so I'm just writing negative out here. So, and our charge Q0 is 2 microcoulomb, and that is positive, and the distance AB is 4 millimeter and AO is given, that is 1 millimeter. So OB will be 4 minus 1, that is 3 millimeter. Now force on O due to A is given by this expression, and force is towards the right because these two are positive, so A will try to repel O. So when you put the values, so now this 6 will go up, and I'll add and subtract the power of 10 accordingly and multiply the numbers. So I'm left with 90 into 10 to the power 3, so I can write 9 into 10 to the power 4, and this force is towards the right. Now similarly I have to find the force on O due to B. So now I'll put the value similarly. So multiplying the numbers, taking the power of 10 into consideration, and You can cancel this 9 and this 9, and you can take this 10 to the power minus 6 up, and it will become positive 6. Now FOB is 6 into 10 to the power 3 Newton towards the right. So because this is negative and this is positive, this will attract. That means this force is in this direction. So now, using superposition theorem, the total force will be vector sum of two forces, and out here two forces are in same direction, so we can directly add without doing triangle law. We can directly add, and when you add this two, you will get 96 into 10 to the power 3 Newton, and the direction is both are going towards the right, so the total force is towards the right. So 96 into 10 to the power 3 Newton towards the right is the force on this charge due to these two charges. In next video we will solve more problems on superposition theorem. The link of the second video is given in description. You can check the videos. So this is the end of the video. Please don't forget to like the video, and I would love to read your comments. Your comments will encourage me to make more videos. Please do write something on comment, and if you are new to channel, please subscribe the channel. And out here I'm giving my phone number. If you need help in any topic, you can WhatsApp me. Thank you.